So this is the shifter. I've removed the console out of my truck for alignment purposes because there is a cable that has to come out the back end instead of the front where the stock port for the shifter cable will come through. So you need to align this up with your console. You got to take your bezel off and that section of dash, fit this in here, make sure it's nice and straight and that it actuates properly within the rectangular hole that's provided by Ford. As well as when you mark these points where you're going to fasten it down, you have to keep in mind through the back, you have to be able to adjust or fasten this nut where the cable clamp goes, and there has to be room or clearance beyond this wall so that you can actually get the nut, bolt nut through. You also have to keep in mind there's a hole here that I've drilled through. I've pre-kinked the cable to pretty much its maximum limit with it being able to slide smoothly still, so that it has the right arc, I guess you could say, that I'm going to have to line up when I put this back in the truck to drill through the tranny tunnel. And then that way I can fish the cable through at the proper angle without causing any friction. You also have to keep in mind on the bottom when you pilot this hole through, show you quickly here, you have to keep in mind this is the heater duct portion. Sorry about my camera, it's horrible here, but you have to keep in mind when you put this back in that cable hole doesn't interfere with your ductwork, so that you don't puncture a hole through there. You can't do this stuff blind. As well as in the truck, the amplifier for the stereo and another controller here is right here, so it's very important that you remove this console and you check before you drill, especially through the transmission tunnel. That is the factory cable. I'm going to leave it in because it has a grommet that goes through the front side of the tranny tunnel and it doesn't interfere with anything, so I'm just going to leave it in place so that I don't have a hole. But I'm going to install this console back in, and then I'm going to basically look through the hole of this here and make sure I'm not going to interfere with anything to do with this stuff. That way I can have a quick look underneath the truck and then blast a hole through it, put a grommet there, and then fish my cable down and through to the transmission.